William Lloyd Garrison felt that he was destined to do great things, but he had no idea how to get there. In 1828, he was 22 years old, newly arrived in the city from his hometown of Newburyport.
William Lloyd Garrison was an impoverished northerner who'd lost his parents when he was young, and he came across the issue really by chance and worked very hard for 30 years, published a paper almost every week by hand himself to fighting against slavery.
The entire narrative of his life is surprising. He was on the outside always. He came from very little, eventually apprenticed a printing press, and really had a talent for typesetting.
William Lloyd Garrison's argument was always that you had to change hearts and minds, that if you just change the laws, that it's not actually going to change anything fundamentally. And as it turned out, the end of the abolitionist era was they did away with slavery. They changed the laws, but they hadn't changed hearts and minds really. And what the civil rights era does almost a century later is they change hearts and minds. And I think it will always be a relevant story because what the abolitionists did only 50 years after the birth of the Republic was they held out a vision of a more perfect society.
My dear Mr. Douglas, join me. I urge you. You have a gift. Sir, you really do.
You flatter me.
No. No, I don't.
Garrison was a mentor for Frederick Douglass and loved him dearly, I think, like a son. And then Frederick Douglass went his own way and came to disagree with some of Garrison's ideas and philosophies. And it was incredibly painful for Garrison, and they had a very public rift and a big argument publicly that was very painful for both of them. And it's this kind of intersection of the political and the personal that I think makes this story so compelling.
The great kind of genius, the simple genius of what Garrison did was that he put himself in someone else's shoes. He saw very early on that there was no difference between any man and himself, that a man was a man. And he took the issue of abolition entirely personally, because he just said, for a second, imagine yourself in the shoes of someone who's enslaved, and it all just kind of was completely simple to him from there.